Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great Saturday and jumping in for a quick video today simply because I didn't do my video yesterday because I was being with my emotions. So I wanted to chat a little bit about that today, just simply because I think at times we can really get in the space of, hey Sandra, lovely to have you on, darling. I think that we can really get in the space of feeling like, what's wrong with me? I've got all these emotions, they're just such a pain, they're so frustrating, why can't I feel good? All sorts of stuff kind of going on. Hey Janine, hey Vanessa, lovely to have you guys on. So quite often we can be quite judgmental about the different emotions that we're feeling. We can obviously feel irritated or feel frustrated or feel angry that we feel angry, all those sorts of things, and all it does is actually keep us spinning in the spot. Sorry if it's a bit noisy with the birds as well. I'm just out on this gorgeous walk. Hey Kylie, lovely to have you on too, darling. I'm off training at the moment to do the Canberra walking marathon due to a knee kind of thing going on that's been going on for a little while. I decided that this would be the way that I would get my marathon done, so I'm super excited. Out on a beautiful Saturday morning, just kind of walking along the edge of the river. It's been fabulous. But jumping in again, obviously speaking about emotions and how they can kind of trip us up. One of the things is your emotions are there for a reason. They're letting you know that something is off, particularly if it's less than positive emotion or something that you're not really enjoying feeling. They're letting you know something is off, something is not okay. Now, often we have been taught as kids to suppress our emotions, that it's not okay to be angry, that it's not okay to be sad, that we're just going to put that big, happy, shiny, smiley face on and get on with it. And when we're ignoring our emotions or we're not actually allowing our emotions to express the wisdom, then that can be kind of tricky and trip us up as well, which is really a bit of a challenge at times. Hey Shani, great to have you on. And hey Becca, lovely to have you on. Hey Diana. Hey Catherine, lovely to have you on. Hey Amna, so great to see you guys on here. So the one thing that I spent a lot of time doing yesterday was just literally sitting and being with our emotions, because what do? When we've made something wrong within ourselves, or we've had that happen to us as children, so perhaps we felt angry or we felt sad, we were sent to our room for it, or we were shamed for it, or we were told, you know, stop being that way. And for those of you with kids, you may have done that to your kids as well. It's a great thing to do, and I certainly have done that to my children over time. I now have a greater realization of what the process around emotions is, and how helpful and beneficial that they can actually be when we're actually tuning into them. And often when we've had something made wrong in us or shamed, what we do is we actually push it away and we become separate to that. So we might have a feeling like, I'm separate to this angry part of me, and I don't like this angry part of me, or I don't like that sad part of me, or I don't like that depressed part of me. So then we end up starting to kind of wage a war with this fragmented self, and all it does is continue to have that self looping, because number one, your emotion is there because a need has not been met. Something has happened, a need has not been met, and your emotions are actually letting you know that that need has not been met. Hey Danielle, great to have you on. Hey Anne-Marie, lovely to see you on here as well. So by sitting with your emotion and being present with, it's like that fragmented self is like your 3-year-old child, or it's like a 5-year-old child, and it needs to be loved. It needs to be held, nurtured, and actually understood. Now, sometimes we can have a lot of judgment about those parts of ourselves, where that's the part that's actually keeping us separate from what that emotion is actually feeling. Now, anger can actually be a really appropriate response. You imagine if somebody is walking up to you with a knife, are you going to go, oh yeah, that's fine, like no problem, I'm just going to be sitting here smiley? Or are you going to get angry and you're going to react and you're going to defend yourself? So anger and a lot of different emotions are actually really, really positive emotions. We've just not been taught that that's been the case. And so by tuning in and sitting with that particular emotion, you can actually have dialogue with that aspect of self. Hey Gainer, great to have you on. And hey Danielle, lovely to have you on too, Dylan. So really, really important to take some time just to sit and be with and let that part of you know, just as if it was your own child coming up to you and saying, oh mum, I'm feeling scared or I'm feeling worried. You're not going to go, oh, like, go away, like, you're annoying, I don't want to hear about it, or you know, stop talking or anything like that. You're not going to do that. So this is the type of presence, love, and unconditional space that we actually need to hold for these fragmented pieces of ourselves. When you're feeling an emotion, ask yourself, when was the last time that I experienced this, and when was the first time in my life? Quite often an image will pop into your mind just about an experience in life, perhaps that actually shows you really scared and vulnerable, or really angry and defensive, or you're feeling upset, like nobody listened to you, or you weren't heard, or you were. So these are all these unmet needs that actually arise. And quite often when we're triggered in a current experience, and you go, oh my god, that was like a really big reaction for something that was kind of not that big, but you can recognize the reaction was not logical, then this is where it really becomes valuable then to actually do this type of inner work, because I can promise you it wasn't you in the current experience being triggered, it was your older self, like your past self, your inner child being heard or not being listened to, not being heard or not being listened to, or a need within self that wasn't being met. So by actually just sitting, hey Lisa, great to have you on. Hey Kate, hey John, hey Rochelle, great to have you on. Thanks so much, Gaynor, that's lovely that it's very fitting for you. Hey Steve, lovely to have you on as well. So by sitting with this part of yourself, and you can start to dialogue with it, and just like when you find out when was the first time that actually happened, and perhaps you get an image of you as a child, sit with, and quite often I'll just grab a pillow. It might sound a little silly to do that, but honestly it just calms my whole nervous system, and suddenly that aspect of myself no longer needs to be fragmented, and guess what, I get to become more whole, more complete within myself, and feel more nurtured, loved, understood. And quite often I can then also understand why I've had that emotional trigger come up for me many times in life then, if I felt that need actually hasn't been met. And so we can take that child, we can understand what need wasn't met, what needs to happen in order for that need to be met, and this need, like the more that you can actually meet that need for yourself. So perhaps that younger child needs reassurance, or perhaps that younger child needs a hug. That's where the pillow is really helpful. Perhaps that younger child just needs to express how it's actually feeling, or how sad it felt, or how unloved it felt, and so you can give it everything that it's actually needing in that moment, which actually resolves the fragmentation. Teal Swan has some amazing stuff around this as well. So if you after some more information on fragmentation or resynchronization, she also calls it, jump over to Teal Swan. She's on YouTube. She's got some great info on there, but it's just really important to sometimes do that deeper inner work with ourselves. Do not ignore our emotions, particularly if you have a repeated emotion. They are letting us know when our personal boundaries, which are just personal needs, have actually not been acknowledged and met. Personal boundaries aren't some big, like, massive fence that you need to keep the rest of the world out from invading you or anything else. It's an attraction universe. However, personal boundaries are more like checking in with yourself and going, yeah, does that feel okay for me, or does that not feel okay for me? Oh, it doesn't feel okay for me. Okay, that's a personal boundary for me then. I like to spend time with people that feel really uplifting or inspiring to me. It doesn't feel good for me to spend time with somebody that's gossiping about somebody else or is negative or any of that. So I'm just using that as an example, obviously, but all of those things can then become your personal boundaries, and the clearer that you are on those, then you're clearer in expressing who you really are, rather than saying yes when you mean no, or no when you mean yes, and then ending up feeling resentment and anger because you believe that other people made you do this, or you felt that other people have impacted you in some way. That's actually you not being clear and direct in your honest communication for fear of being judged, which goes back into loving self, which again, the fragmentation, that's where a lot of that self-love, self-worth can kind of go awry when we're fragmented ourselves or made aspects of ourselves wrong for such a long time. So have fun exploring your emotions. They do not need to be fixed. By acknowledge them, by listening to them, by understanding what they're trying to communicate to you, you will heal them in an instant. You'll come back to feeling calm, peaceful, and serene within yourself. Have a magnificent day, guys. I'm off to complete the rest of my walk. Hey Steve, great to have you on, and hey Ashley, lovely to have you on, and Jan. Have an amazing day. Loads of gratitude to you all for tuning in. If this has been helpful for you, please like, love, or share it with somebody that you care about, and have an amazing day, guys. Big love. Bye.